Good morning everyone. Welcome back to accountancy classes of Sri Mahavir International School. Let's start with the next concept. As you know that in last video we have cleared about the topic that was interest on drawing, and today we are going to discuss about the topic that is interest on capital. Simply we have calculated interest on capital in some questions, but here is a broad concept related to interest on capital. There may be some certain conditions that how we will treat interest on capital. As in our previous videos I have cleared one point to you, that is charge against profit and appropriation of profit. What are the meanings of these 2 points? Charge against profit means a firm has to pay that expense which is charged against profit, whether there is profit or loss to the firm. So whenever there is interest on capital in the question and it is charged against profit, then a firm has to pay it compulsory. It will be compulsory for a firm that it has to pay whether there is profit or loss to the firm. Okay, but if there is appropriation of profit, then in that condition firm will pay interest on capital only when there is a profit. Let's understand some conditions of this. Like first condition, what can be the first condition? That when partnership deed is silent regarding interest on capital. As I told you that whenever partners start partnership, they have to maintain a partnership deed. In that, all the conditions are written related to partnership. Okay. So, if your partnership deed is silent regarding interest on capital, there is no any record of interest on capital in your deed, then how we will treat interest on capital? So, the treatment will be that there will not be any interest on capital. If partnership deed is silent, so interest on capital will not be given to the partners. Okay, this is the first condition. Second condition, if interest on capital is less than available profits. If interest on capital is less than available profits, how? Suppose that there are 50,000 rupees profit of the firm. Profit of the firm is 50,000 rupees and interest on capital of 2 partners. Suppose that there are 2 partners in the firm and interest on capital of both partners are 40,000. Okay, so easily a firm can pay that 40,000 to the partners, right? Because profits are 50,000, you have available profit, they are sufficient for the interest on capital. So easily you can provide full interest on capital to the partners. So if your interest on capital is less than available profits, in that condition full interest on capital will be given. But if there is loss, so no interest on capital will be given to the partners. In this also there may be 3 conditions. In case of loss, suppose that if there is loss to the firm, in that condition no interest on capital, because it is not written in the condition that it is charge against profit or appropriation of profit. So in the absence of any information, we will assume it appropriation of profit. So where there is appropriation of profit and there is loss to the firm, so no interest on capital will be given. Second condition, if there is profit and profits, it may be more than interest. If your profits are more than interest, so full interest on capital will be given. Full interest on capital will be given. Okay. Third condition may be if profits are not sufficient. Means you can reverse the second condition that your interest on capitals are rupees 50,000 and profits are only of rupees 40,000. Then what will you do? you will distribute only available profits among the partners. Okay, suppose that interest on capital is 50,000 rupees, and how is 50,000? Just assume there are two partners in the firm. Interest on capital of partner A, that is 40,000, and partner B, that is 10,000. Okay, it means what is the ratio of their interest on capital? It is 4:1, right? So the available profits, whatever the available profits are there in the firm, that profits will be distributed in the ratios of 4:1. So this will be the third condition, that if your profits are not sufficient, so in that condition available profits will be distributed among the partners in the ratio of interest on capitals, right? Let's see the third condition. If interest on capital is treated as charge against profit, this is the most important point. Charge against profit. Charge against profit means that you have to pay whether there is profit or loss. So in this condition, what we will treat, that we will pay full interest on capital. It doesn't matter that how much is the profit of the firm. It doesn't matter, you have to pay full interest to the partners because your interest on capital is charged against profit in this condition. Okay, I am taking one question that will include all these conditions. So easily it will be understandable to you. Okay. Question number 35. Just study the question number 35. In this, some cases are given, and on the basis of these cases, we have to prepare the accounts. Yes, question number 35 is X and Y are partners sharing the profits and losses in the ratio of 2:1 with capitals of 50,000 and 30,000 respectively. Show the distribution of profits in each of the following alternative cases. First case, I am writing here case 1. If the partnership deed is silent, if the partnership deed is silent as to the interest on capital and profits for the year are 9,000 and profits for the year are rupees 9,000. This is the case 1, that if your partnership deed is silent and profits are rupees 9,000, right? So what will you do? You know that when your partnership deed is silent, so no interest on capital will be given, right? So just prepare P&L appropriation account. Particular amount. This will be the format of this. Yes, so what will you write here? Write first of all by profits for the year. What are the profits? 9,000. 9,000 is the available profit. Now you know that partnership deed is silent, so no interest on capital will be given. So available profits will be distributed among the partners in their profit sharing ratio, right? So just close this account 9,000, and this 9,000 will be distributed among the partners. We will write here to partners capital account. What is the name of partners here? X and Y, and the profit sharing ratio is 2:1. So we will distribute like this 9,000 multiplied. First of all their share 2 and 1, and denominator will be the sum of these ratios, means 2 plus 1 3. So 6,000 rupees for X and 3,000 rupees for Y. So the profits of both partners will be 6,000 and 3,000, right? Now case second. Case second is if the partnership deed provides for interest on capital. If partnership deed provides for interest on capital at the rate of 6% and losses for the year. Losses for the year is rupees 6,000. This is the case second. That in this condition, partnership deed is providing interest on capital at the rate of 6%, right? But losses for the year is 6,000. Now you have losses. Now the firm is suffering losses. It means in the condition of loss, we don't provide interest on capital, right? And you know that when there is loss to the firm, we don't prepare P&L appropriation account also. We will prepare only P&L account. So in this also we will prepare, that is particular amount, particular amount. So first of all, write a loss to losses for the year. 6,000. Yes, and distribute these losses among the partners. By partners capital account. Partners are X and Y. Same distribution way, 6,000 multiplied by 2 upon 3 and 1 upon 3. 4,000 for X, 2,000 for Y. So like this, 6,000 will be the loss that is bear by X and Y. Right? Now case third. If the partnership deed provides for interest on capital at the rate of 6%, that is the same. Interest on capital at the rate of 6% per annum, and profits for the year are 9,000 rupees. Profits for the year are rupees 9,000. Interest on capital 6% and profits 9,000. So just first of all prepare P&L appropriation account. Particular amount, this will be the format of every ledger account. Try to remind this point. Yes, first of all you should check that what is the amount of interest on capital of both partners, means whether your profits is sufficient or not. So I am just preparing a working note for calculation of interest on capital. X and Y, what is their capital in the question? 50,000 and 30,000. And the interest on capital, that is rate 6%. So for first partner it will be 3,000 and for second partner it will be 1,800. Means interest on capital is 4,800 and profit is 9,000. It means your profit is sufficient. So first of all write here by profits for the year. ₹9,000 to interest on capital for X and for Y. 3,000 for X, 1,800 for Y. So total interest on capital is 4,800. So remaining profits now will be distributed among the partners. Out of 9,000, interest on capital is given 4,800. So calculate what is the remaining profit. It is 4,200. So write here two partners capital account. X and Y. 4,200 will be distributed in the profit sharing ratio. That is choose you one. 4,200 multiplied by 2 upon 3 and 4,200 multiplied by 1 upon 3. So for first partner it will be 2,800. For second partner it will be 1,400. This is in the third case. Again I am revising these three cases. What is there in first case? Partnership deed was silent for interest on capital. So no interest on capital will be given. Whole profit will be distributed among the partners. Okay. In second case, partnership deed is providing interest, but there is loss to the firm. So in the case of loss, we don't provide interest on capital. So whole losses will be distributed among the partners. In third case, interest on capital at the rate of 6% and profits are 9,000 rupees. So first of all, we have to calculate interest on capital because we should check that our profits are sufficient or not for giving interest on capital. So we calculated here interest, that is 3,000 and 1,800, means interest is only 4,800 and our profit is 9,000. So it means profit is sufficient for giving interest. So first of all, we distributed interest. After giving interest, the remaining profit is 4,200 that we distributed among the partners in their profit sharing ratio. Okay. Now let's see fourth case. Yes. So what is the fourth case? If the partnership deed provides interest on capital at the rate of 6%. Interest on capital at the rate of 6% per annum. This is given by partnership deed. And profits for the year are 3,000 rupees. Profits for the year are rupees 3,000. So as you know that now in third case we calculated interest on capital and the amount was 3,000 and 1,800, right? Means 4,800 rupees is total interest on capital, but in this case your profit is only 3,000. Means your profits are not sufficient for giving interest. So what will you do? You will distribute this 3,000 in the ratio of interest on capital. Okay. You have to distribute only 3,000 rupees. So the same thing, P&L appropriation account. First of all, write down particular amount. By profits for the year, that is 3,000 rupees, and write down to interest on capital for X and Y. The ratio is 3,000 is to 1,800. So what will be the ratio? 5:3. So distribute this amount in 5:3, means 5 upon 8 and 3,000 multiplied by 3 upon 8. Do the calculation of this. 1,875 for first partner, and for second partner it will be 1,125, right? Just calculate once again it. Yes, 1,875 and 1,125. will be the interest on capital in this condition, because your profits were not sufficient, so we distributed only 3000 rupees in the ratio of interest. So total is now 3000. Clear? After this, case 5th. Last case. If the partnership deed provides for interest on capital at the rate 6% per annum, even if it involves the firm in loss and the profits for the year are 3000 rupees. What you have to do in this, that partnership deed is providing interest on capital at the rate of 6% per annum, even if firm incurs loss. This is the important line in this case. And profits for the year are 3000. Profits for the year are rupees 3000. This case is also similar as 4th case. But what is the difference? The difference is of this line that even if firm incurs loss, it means this is a charge against profit. Like in this condition, we distributed only 3000 rupees in their interest ratio because profit was not sufficient. But in this case, we cannot distribute only the profit. We have to give full interest to the partners because interest is charge against profit. Okay? So let's prepare the account. And when interest is charged against profit, in that case we have to prepare P&L account, not P&L appropriation account. Where there is charge against profit, in this case prepare P&L account. So first of all, write down my profits for the year. That is 3000. To interest on capital for X and Y, that was 3000 and 1800, means 4800. It means you can say that 1800 rupees is the loss of firm, because 4800 is the interest on capital and remaining loss will be given to partners by loss transferred to partners capital account. Means for X and Y, what is the loss? 1800 rupees. This 1800 will be distributed in their profit sharing ratio, that is 2:1. Means 1200 and 600. Okay, so this was your case number 5th. You have to write in working note that in every case what we did differently. Right? Like in this case, just write in the working note that here interest is charged against profit, so we have to give full interest on capital, that is 4800, and we prepare P&L account in the case of charge against profit. We don't prepare P&L appropriation account. Okay? And as you know that at last there is loss, so loss is not transferred to P&L appropriation account. Clear? So just in this question we included all the cases, that how interest on capital will be treated in every case. When partnership deed is silent, no interest on capital. When there is loss, no interest on capital. When there are no sufficient profits, so the available profits will be distributed in their interest on capital's ratio. If there is sufficient profit to the firm, so full interest on capital will be given. But interest on capital is a charge against profit. In this case, we have to give full interest on capital whether there is profit or loss to the firm. Okay? This was your question number 35. So now in the next video we will find about the next questions that will include some journal entries related to this type of questions or some other concept. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you so much.